Hey, welcome back to another episode from Life for Living Well. My name is Richard, and we be your anchor for this week. Before I dive into the topic I have for this week, I'd like to quickly say if you'd like to send me some of your questions or you'd like to know about what Life for Living Well do as a community, you can always send me your email at hello@lifeforlivingwell.com, or you can use our website, and there's a form that you can fill and reach out to me as well, and I will try as possible to get in touch back to you. So without much ado, let's get diving into the topic for this week. This week I'm looking into power of self-awareness. And to start the podcast generally is to look into some of the inspiration that I always love to start So I call it the power of self-awareness. According to dictionary definition of awareness, is simply put as knowledge or perception of a situation or fact. So how did they empower us? How did they set us free? How can we use ability to aware what is going on emotionally, mentally, psychologically, even within ourselves, before we begin to unravel what is going on outside of ourselves, where we have zero control over. But one way or the other, we always reacting to it. So Ellison put it better when he said, "When I discover who I am, I will be free." So this is individual that's going through the process of unravel, understanding what trigger him, what make him tick, what motivates him. There's some people that, like almost everybody, have one fear or the others. And some people might think they are fearless. Some people, they so fear of death that they overly go into another extreme, overly prevention of themselves. That limited them to exploring, that limited them to experience. So let's dive into it without spending too much time all around it. Why is self-awareness so important? So this is the question I'm throwing to you. You personally, why self-awareness is important to you? And this particular podcast is to engaging us, empowering us to pay attention and develop these skills or habits of knowing what you're actually feeling, what you're actually thinking, and how does it impact your reaction to the event outside of you. Someone asked Christ a question, and the way he answered it is simple. He said, "It is not what is outside of you that make you imperfect or corrupt you. It is what is inside of you. Your feelings is inside of you. Anger is not outside, but it's within. Resentment is not outside, it's within. Frustration is not outside, it's within." But people that you meet, people that you know, might be the one trigger it for you until you actually get into the bottom of why you are frustrated. What's causing it? What can you do about it? It is not a secret that many melodramas in interpersonal relationships are boiled down to lack of self-knowledge by the participants, which often shows a complete lack of emotional intelligence, inability to manage frustration, and unhealthy entitlement. We all, one way or the other, show this tiny negative attitude to our relationship when you feel frustrated that somebody just didn't remember your birthday, without you knowing that maybe this individual already have so much going on in their own world, and you are the least things in their thoughts. But you forget, you tell yourself how much important you are in their life. So this week we will learn 1, focusing on the importance of self-awareness. Number 2, how to apply it in our daily life. So one thing that screws almost everyone in personal and interpersonal relationships is complete lack of self-awareness. How many times have you seen an adult or an elderly person not aware of why they do what they do? It's really refreshing often when you think like the gray hair on someone's head is representing the numbers of wisdom they've accumulated based on numbers of years and the experiences they might have gone through. In most cases, it's not the case. They can still act like 7-year-old acting to frustration. They can still solve the same conflict like 3-year-old will solve a conflict in playground. With this, because of lack of self-awareness, we often sabotaging ourselves a lot in many ways. We say we want relationship, but we're disrespecting people that we have in our life. We just thought that they just have to be there. So what is common with this individual is a sense of victimhood and blaming others. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Carl Gustav Jung said this, and he's right. So when you meet someone or you see someone behaving childishly and you're so upset about it, that is the moment that you should pause and say, why this behavior annoys you so much? You'll be surprised that probably you also carry the same pattern of behavior in a different way that is not aware to you, is your own shadow self. Only when you're able to ask the question, you'll be able to reflect about it and use your emotions, your feelings to explore what is going on. Carl Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. You might be the person that you can't just stand injustice. The anger and irritation that arose from injustice that you experience is enough for you to experience that. What can you do about it? So it is important to first understand ourselves before we seek to understand others. Scripture puts it much better. First, remove your own fault before you condemn others for the same offenses you are guilty of. So often, we are quick to see other faults and their imperfections, but we are blind to our own imperfections. This is another way where people try to run away from facing the issue in their own life. It's easy for them to see everything wrong in others. But when you already develop a self-awareness in yourself, one thing that paramount in you is the honesty of your own nature, the situation you find yourself. You're able to confront it, not run away from it. Once you are aware of how your internal process works, such as emotions, what triggers you, you will no longer become a slave to circumstances. You will develop a regime of self-love that helps you grow, support, and love others. And this is really interesting way because of your ability to understand your own self. You manage what trigger you. You know what you can accept, what you cannot accept. You create a healthy boundary for you. People that really develop their self-awareness is these individuals, remarkable people to spend time with. They seem to accept things easily that a lot of people will resist. A lot of people will automatically think that in every situation they are powerless. They don't have the power about it. In reality, you do. It's the Buddha that once said that when somebody gives you a gift of anger and you don't accept it, what happened to the giver? The giver takes their gift back. When somebody insults you and you don't take that insult by responding back in the same way, they automatically take their insult back to themselves. And the scripture puts it even more better, that when you meet someone that is so disrespectful to you, you have two options. One option, you become more disrespectful to them. Another option is you walk away. So at the end of the day, you still have the power to choose which of these options that you wanted to respond to. Each of them carry the same result at the end. So I actually say it this way. If I responded in a disrespectful way, I might get in the same outcome with the person that being disrespectful. If I walk away and I put no thinking or meaning to that behavior, what else did I have my power back? Because if you say you are a loving and kind person and somebody behaves to you unloving, unkind, and you end up becoming unloving, unkind to everybody, that's not the person that done it to you that is the choice and the meaning and the effect that have on you that determine how you behave from there on. But if you are loving, if you are kind, you persistently become that, but then you choose when, how you should do that. If you're being kind to someone and they're not kind for you, take your kindness back. So, part of our self-awareness is understand what triggers us. So you will develop a regime of self-love that help you grow, support, and love others. So the next question is, how do you develop self-awareness? And I think this is one of the critical parts of the podcast this week. The common tool that people often don't take seriously are the tools that can facilitate the process of developing self-awareness. So let's look at those tools one by one. It's a simple tool, it's free, but majority of the people don't use it. So number one, journaling. It's practice that is so generation upon generation. The Romans are known for journaling. The Greeks the same. And it's the only one thing that creates a reflection of your own behavior, your own habit, your own action is through your journaling. The thing that you are not able to share with other people even when you are writing down, it's not just you begin to think what you feel. And then the way you put it down, you are honest about how you put it down. So this practice is so powerful and simple as you begin to embrace truth and honesty with your true self. You are poking and inciting questions. You likely arrive at the path of inquiry. So can't you now begin to ask yourself, why don't we do it more? I actually feel that partly because lack of understanding your own habit and behavior and preference. So the way you are raised, maybe you are not raised in an environment where you are encouraged to do that. Maybe you kind of person that you talk out what you think. So writing it down probably will be a different discipline and habit that is going to take you a bit time to develop. So consider journaling that cover almost part of your life and feelings. You can make it a daily or weekly practice. So daily seems to be the norm for those who use this practice often. It's an old technique, but very relevant today as many great men and women testify how it helps them to navigate their bearing. So that takes us to the last one, the last tools that you can use to improve or develop your self-awareness. The second tool that is helpful in developing self-awareness is the habit of questioning. Good and insightful questions make a difference. Why do I do what I do? This kind of question, who am I? Many people don't know. Many people never ask themselves this question. If you ask them, who are you? They say, I'm a teacher, I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor. They define themselves based on the job that they have. When did they automatically become a doctor? Is it when they were born or when they actually finish in university and study medicine? Is that when they just become that and that's the end of that? What happened when they retired? So these are the kind of questions that will lead you to who are you truly? And many more questions like this will set you up to unimaginable outcomes. Self-awareness is a powerful tool that can help us grow in our journey. So to bring the podcast to the end, I hope that you can get one or two things from the podcast this week, like 2 things that you should consider to improve, to develop a self-awareness in yourself is take up the habit of journaling, take up the habit of questioning things to the point that people sometimes can become annoying about you because you start asking questions more like a child. There are many external forces we do not have control over, but being aware how you feel, why you feel like that will make a big difference and could transcend the choices and actions you will take rather than reacting to it. I hope this podcast helps someone today. I'm trying to make sure that we finish this podcast with just around 20 minutes. And thank you for your time. And whatever you do this week, have a wonderful one. Ciao.